One of the biggest attractions at Galaxy's Edge is the ability to choose and build your own lightsaber. I recently visited Orlando, and whether you're planning to go soon or just want to live vicariously, I'm going to cover everything you need to know, from the cost to the Kyber crystal colors to the 4 different hilts you can choose from. Plus, I'll show you which hilt I went with. The Savi's Workshop experience at Disney is $249.99. You can try and walk up day of, but if you are planning a vacation, especially months in advance, I would absolutely go to Disney and book this before you get there, just to make sure that you've got your spot. It would be a shame if you wanted to do this, and then couldn't. As it stands now, you can book your experience up to 60 days before your visit. Included in the price pack is your selection of one of the 4 hilt types, a pin that commemorates your experience and tells the cast members which hilt you are building, as you can see right there, and this padded carrying case, which conveniently goes right over your shoulder. And with your experience, of course, you get a 31-inch standard blade. One major benefit of Disney lightsabers is that you can replace the blades. I don't recommend dueling with these blades, but if you just can't resist and you do and you break it, it's relatively cheap to replace them, and they're always going on sale. Speaking of blades, there is an outstanding custom blade on the market that you can get. I have one shipped to me. It's coming in the mail this week. I swear it's like Christmas. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. That basically multiplies how cool your legacy lightsaber is tenfold. Check out my review video in the near future. Another thing that I should note here is you can have one guest come with you into the lightsaber building experience at Savi's Workshop. The website recommends that your builder is ages 5 and up. My daughter built one when she was 5 and she totally enjoyed the experience. And even though it says just one guest is allowed in with the builder, the cast members on Batuu were gracious enough to allow my wife to join as well. What color Kyber crystals are offered with your lightsaber at Savi's Workshop? As it stands now, you can get red, blue, and green, as well as purple. But of course, if you go to Dok-Ondar's afterwards, you can also purchase a yellow and a white crystal. Here's an epic display stand that I bought on Etsy. As you can see, there's room for all 6 Kyber crystals there. Word to the wise, the yellow is not identical to the yellow that you see in the movie with Rey. It's got more of a highlighter type finish to it. I should note that what I just showed you is Generation 2 Kyber crystals. Before that, there were basically a different set of lightsabers you could build at Savi's Workshop, and we're going to show you what one of those looks like in a moment, but they also had different Kyber crystals. This is what the case looked like for those, and the Generation 2 Kyber crystals work with things such as the holocrons that you can buy at Dok-Ondar's. So that's 6 Kyber crystals all in all that you can customize your lightsaber with. Yeah, I know, they're missing the 7th. Disney, where is my orange Kyber crystal? Somewhere Balin Skull is really upset right now. And never fear, if you don't purchase those while you're in the park, you can purchase them from DisneyStore.com, and I believe they run just under $20 a piece. All right, Josiah, but tell me about the hilts I can build at Savi's. We definitely saved the best for last. There are traditionally 4 types of hilts you can build at Savi's Workshop at Galaxy's Edge. However, currently, there is a bonus 5th. Reclaimed and Reforged is making a comeback. Starting on October 12th, 2025, these will be a limited time experience and only while supplies last. These were available earlier this year, ran out of stock, and well, looks like we're getting them again. So if you missed it, now's your chance. And the official site reads, over the centuries, countless lightsabers fell into the hands of smugglers and bounty hunters. Remnants of ancient battles and abandoned scraps have been scavenged from the distant reaches of the galaxy's outer rim. Now, guests can repurpose them into elegant tools that symbolize balance in the Force. And for each hilt, I want to give you a little insight as to what I think might be the best color match and what character that we know of probably would have made this selection if they were going to Batuu, of course. First of all, I love in the pieces there that you can see kind of the end of the DL-44 Han Solo blaster. Like the color scheme on these two, a little bit different from what we've seen. With this hilt in particular, I think blue or green would be an absolute slam dunk, and I can totally see a Jedi such as Ezra Bridger or Sabine Wren using one of these hilts. It makes sense with their characters and how they kind of want to conceal that they're Jedi. All right, folks, and now we're going to get to the 4 pretty much permanent options that Savi's has. Again, these are all what I would equate to be V2 or Generation 2 Savi's Workshop hilts. So these categories have kind of sort of existed for a few years now, but Disney refreshes the parts on them, and this is what we've got now. So the first type is the Peace and Justice hilt. The description reads, salvage scraps from fallen Jedi temples and crashed starships in these Republic-era designs honor the galaxy's former Guardians. These lightsabers aren't off the charts in terms of how unique they are, but what I would say is maybe a Jedi like a Ki-Adi-Mundi or a Kit Fisto wielding them. You could also pitch me the argument that Qui-Gon Jinn might build something like this. For me, the color choices here would be blue or green. All right, folks, and now we're gonna get to my favorite design, the one that I went with when I went to Savi's workshop, Power and Control. You can check out my entire experience building that lightsaber from start to finish in the link below. The description for Power and Control reads, originally forged by Darkside warriors, this style features rumored remnants from the Sith homeworld and abandoned temples. Whew. That's intense. Special shout out to my buddy John Fick, a Generation 1 version of the hilt. Let's take a look at it while we got it. I gotta hand it to John. He's got a good eye for beauty. Got some good taste here. This lightsaber, I think, is super well balanced. Here, he's got the T-grips that you kind of see on like an Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. He's got his switch right here. This one very reminiscent of what you'd see on an Obi-Wan Kenobi or Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi lightsaber. Up here, again, this hilt reminds me very much of Luke's Return of the Jedi saber, but up top is where things get a little bit different. This totally reminds me of what emitter you might see on a Darth Vader lightsaber. And you've got the D-ring up here. This one just moves slightly, but if you recall, that's how Darth Vader hangs his hilt, not down here at the pommel where most Jedi and Sith do. That is so perfectly balanced. Now, it is a big lightsaber and it is heavy. It's ironic to see two D-rings on it, but I kind of like it because it's not common at all. But this thing is an absolute beast. For what it's worth, John actually chose blue when he originally went, but he wanted to buy a second crystal, so he bought a purple. And ladies and gentlemen, here is the current version of the Power and Control, the one that I chose. I came up with a character because I wasn't sure how I wanted to attack this when I was originally planning my Disney trip. So my character is named Yorl, which is my last name, Leroy, backwards, and he's inspired heavily by Baylan Skoll. He lives in the era of the sequel trilogy, so maybe a little bit after episode 7, 8, and 9, but he is a collector. So think of the collector from Guardians of the Galaxy in the MCU, kind of mixed with Baylan Skoll. Mine's got the D-ring right at the bottom here on the emitter. Some decent sound comes out of that, but I chose this because it reminded me of Darth Vader. This is pretty much what the pin looks like. Classic switch. This portion here reminded me so much of Kylo Ren. And then up top, we've got what I would equate to being the Anakin Skywalker Padawan emitter. So here I've clearly got some conflicted guys in Kylo Ren, Anakin, and Darth Vader, all characters who were either good or bad at different times. What's interesting is I currently have the purple crystal inside. So there's something messed up with one of the tags that I've got in there. But this is what the white looks like. I think they did a pretty good job with it. And here is the one that my daughter built. When we went, she had her mind made up on a different hilt and then pivoted last second when she saw the one that I did. So I'm kind of honored. Her inspiration was kind of the same thing. Her character would be my apprentice. She chose the Kylo Ren wired piece here, put it on the bottom. Same switch. She liked more of the classic grip up top here, but her emitter is chosen because she thought it reminded her of Darth Maul. Now these character selections will make sense seeing that these are what I based my lightsaber off of. I think Darth Maul and Kylo Ren might have chosen this lightsaber hilt, and of course the best colors for this are red and purple. And before we get to our last two hilt options, I want to just run through the Kyber crystals with you real quick. What we'll do is we'll show each one lit up, and then I'm going to tell you exactly whose sound they're modeled after. They're all unique. It's really awesome. See, that's super interesting. I did not change the crystal, and look, it's back to purple. A little bit faulty, a little bit sus, but purple based after Mace Windu, and the sound is beautiful. It's my favorite sound of all the crystals. It's got a nice bass to it. That is a strong emission. So I go back and forth on this one. It's very similar to the Darth Maul lightsaber that I have from Disney. I actually think it leads a little bit closer to Darth Vader. Got that really long deactivation. This one, Luke Skywalker. So clean. And now I do have the white Kyber crystal in there, so this is accurate. But this is Ahsoka Tano's sound, spot on. And I think this one is the Luke and Anakin, the Youngling Slayer 3000. And last but not least, the yellow. I mentioned before, it's not exactly correct. It's more of a highlighter feel. That J-Moo blade that I ordered and I'm gonna have for a full review, that corrects the yellow and makes it more screen accurate. So this one appropriately after the temple guards from the Clone Wars, if you remember. The third choice you have for hilts is Elemental Nature. I don't see this one picked too often, but it's kind of cool. This theme embodies the Force, an energy created by all living things, like Brylar trees, Carthusian whalebones, and Rancor teeth. What did you just call me? Honestly, the Rancor tooth on here is super cool. This one definitely is the most unique of all the hilts. I think a green or a yellow would go best with this color, and this character is gonna blow your mind. I don't know why, but I always come back to General Ram Koda.
Wow, you're a real Star Wars nerd, aren't you?
If you don't remember who that is or don't know who it is,
Who are you?
he is the Jedi that Starkiller sees early in the original Force Unleashed video game. I don't know, just seems like a guy floating around doing his thing, and that he would have to do this to survive, and this is the kind of hilt that he was able to put together. I don't know. I know I got a lot of Force Unleashed fans on this channel. Represent. And the last style that you can choose, which is the most popular, is protection and defense. Seriously, all my friends have this one. The description reads, hilt materials bear mysterious motifs and inscriptions that reconnect users with the ancient wellspring of the Force. So these are definitely more High Republic era type lightsabers. And the awesome thing is, all of my friends chose different parts. Shout out to Tom Colbert for letting me borrow this one. But D-ring on the bottom here, very good sound ventilation. High Republic logo switch there. Just very, very detailed. Definitely the most inscribed of all of them. And then we've got that emitter there. It's a little bit more square version of almost like the Anakin Skywalker one you would see. Big shout out to my buddy Derek Kramer for letting me borrow this one. We've got the different emitter up top here. Kind of the same theme as the emitter as we go all the way down the saber. I call this the Teardrop or the Millennium Falcon activation. And you've got some old inscriptions there. Looks like a star map. A little bit sharp there, of course, the CoverTech belt clip as well. And last but certainly not least, my amazing friend Marissa Martinez let me borrow this one. Again, a different emitter. How about that? This is definitely, to me, the most High Republic of all of them. We've got the same activation as the first version that we looked at a minute ago. And yet again, another different pommel, also with a D-ring. And those are the 4 types of Savi's Workshop hilts that you can build in addition to the bonus Reclaimed and Reforged limited edition. Do me a favor, drop a comment below. Tell me which hilt you would make if you could, or which one you already did make. And leave a heart with the color of the Kyber crystal that you chose or would choose. All in all, it's a really cool experience. It is expensive, no doubt about it, but you'll have this lightsaber forever. I mean, typically speaking, you see them in the back of all of my videos, pinch hitting. We've got the Anakin Padawan and the Princess Leia, but it's a really special experience, and even though there's much, much better lightsabers out there on the market, this is an experience I'll never forget. Again, Disney, waiting on you for that orange. Don't make me go all Anakin on the younglings on you. I will. Folks, if you enjoyed this video or got any value out of it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, YouTube thinks that you would like that video right there. Give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? This is where the fun begins.